Yo, welcome back to the channel. In this video today we're going to be going over the Stamina Templar build for the Flames of Ambition patch. So let's go ahead and dive right into the build. My max health is 19.8k, my max stamina is 33.9, stamina recovery is 1.7, weapon damage is 5.1, weapon critical is 57.9, my physical pen is 3k. Now, I have 64 points into stamina as well. The boon I'm running is the Thief, and the food that I'm running is Lava Foot Soup and Saltries. It increases my max stamina by 4.5 and stamina recovery by 451. Now, I've always liked to keep my DPS between 16.5 and 17.5, so having 19.8 KHP is just a perk for me. So, if you still feel, you can definitely make this go higher using Dubious, because this gives you max health and stamina. It'll take your max health to 22.9, but your max stamina will drop to 31.8, and your stamina recovery will drop to 1.5. So you really can't go wrong with either one. You can use whichever one you want, whichever one makes you feel more comfortable, but those are the two food I would use. Lava Foot Soup, obviously being the easiest one to make, it is blue food, and Dubious, it's purple, can be a pain with some of the components, but if you don't even have it, but Lava Foot Soup is a very common recipe. So, champion points. In the blue tree, when it comes to passives that we have precision. I have 40 points into precision, 40 points into tireless discipline. I have 40 points into piercing, 40 into battle mastery, and 30 into mighty. Now, when it comes to the points that you've got to the abilities or the things you add to your bar, your champion bar, I guess. I'm always using Fighting Finesse, which gives me an extra 10% critical damage and critical healing. I am always using Thermometer, which gives me an extra 10% damage done with overtime effects. And Biting Aura, which gives me an extra 10% damage to all of my area effect attacks. Now, I use Backstabber a lot, which increases my critical damage while I'm flanking an enemy by 15%. But if for whatever reason you're in a group that doesn't have a tank, so the mob is just kind of running around, or you have a tank that has Happy Feet who just keeps turning a boss around and around, so you're never actually able to stay flanking, this isn't going to do you that much good. Me personally, I tend to swap it out with Untamed Aggression, which just gives me an extra 150 weapon and spell damage. But there are other ones you can obviously use. Like if you feel like you need some more healing, this can heal you as you're dealing direct damage, and this one as well gives you extra weapon and spell damage to your damaging abilities per stage. So either one of these could work too, but me personally, I prefer the Untamed Aggression. Just go with whichever one you like, but Fighting Finesse, Biting Aura, and Thermometer should always be 3 that stay on your bar, and then Backstabber should be your 4th, unless, like I said, the tank, or there's not a tank, or the tank has Happy Feet. So the green tree, I have 50 here that gives me extra 10% bonus gold. And what this does is that doing your daily crafting writs, you would normally get like 4.6k gold. You now get like 5.1. So it's an extra 500 gold. So, which comes in handy if you do it along with a lot of characters. Same thing with these, you just get more gold from chests and safe boxes and stuff. But the ones that really matter, 50 here into Steadfast Enchantment, which will gives you a 100% reduced decay rate on your enchants. So basically your enchants never decay. So your weapon will never uncharge in the middle of the fight and cause that little second or two delay and lag. So you don't have to worry about this anymore, and it doesn't even go on your champion bar. It's just passive. So I have the ones that do go on your bar though. I have 50 into Treasure Hunter. It gives us increase the quality of items you find in treasure chests. Master Gatherer, reduce the time it takes to harvest by 50%. Plentiful Harvest, you have a 50% chance to get double resources. To gain double the yield from normal resources nodes per stage. Like that just, I don't know, that just seems weird to me, the way that sentence is put. You have a 10% chance to gain double the yield from normal resource nodes per stage. Like, I don't know, it just seems weird. I don't know why. And then the 4th one that I use on bar is Liquid Efficiency. Whenever you use a potion or poison, you have a 10% chance to not consume it. So this is really good because if you use a lot of spell power pots, which we do use a lot of weapon power pots in the Stam Templar setup, at least we have a chance of keeping one when we use it. So really nice to have. If you don't really care about the gathering and stuff like that, I would keep Treasure Hunter personally. Swap it out with Rotationer, which basically just adds extra time to your food. I think it's like an extra 30 minutes overall. So, it's up to you. Now, the red tree, we use, I guess passive-wise, I have 20 in Defiance here, 30 into Tumbling, which helps with my roll dodge. Reduce the cost of my roll dodge. This reduces the cost of my break free. Hero's Vigor, I have 40 here, which gives me an extra 1.1k max health. And then I have 32 here, which increases my movement speed when sprinting by 8%, and then this reduces the cost of sprint. As a stamina tune, as we're running through dungeons, this really comes in handy. I have 20 into reduce the cost of block, and then I have 45 into reduce the cost of bash by 135 cost reduction. Basically, I bash a lot. You know, sometimes tanks don't bash, and as being a stamina DPS, I'm up close, and I have that ability to bash the boss if I see that the tank isn't doing it. So, and then I also have 25 here, which basically just allows me to come up with extra 5% of my resources when I'm rest. Now, when it comes to abilities on my champion bar, I got Balanced Vitality, which gives me an extra 1400 max health. Ironclad, which gives me 1.7k extra armor. Rejuvenation, which gives me an extra 150 health, magic, and stamina recovery. And then Bloody Renewal, which gives me an extra 1500 stamina every time we kill an enemy. So this helps with resources quite a bit, so it's absolutely amazing. So now for sets. The first set, Kinra. Kinra is an amazing set. It's very nice and it is great to have. We're running a Nern dagger with a poison damage enchant, a precise mace with an absorb stamina enchant. Now, you can run dual daggers if you want, but basically you'll run a dagger with Nern and then a dagger with sharpen. And while I was doing it, I got a mace that was precise, so I'm still getting my penetration from the mace, and then I'm still getting the crit from the precise. So I just kept with it. But you can go dual daggers if you want to. It's up to you. And then we're using it on our jewelry as well, all robust, all weapon damage. Now, what this set does is that it gives us weapon damage, weapon critical, weapon damage, and dealing damage with a light or heavy attack grants you a stack of burning heart for 5 seconds, up to 5 stacks. While you have 5 stacks, you generate an aura of wrath, not warmth, granting you major berserk, increasing your damage done by 10. While you have an aura of wrath, allies within 12 meters you gain minor berserk, increasing their damage done by 5%. And what this looks like is essentially this. So you'll see the little timer down there, that little hand there. I don't know if that's a hand or not. I can't really quite make it out. But you'll see the red around you. And once it gets fully, you'll see the big red. I've seen people running it. They'll try to roll dodge up out of this. But, I mean, it is kind of amusing. So, there is no downtime. So, once it drops off, it drops off. So, just try to keep it up. And we're not on our back bar very long. So, you should be able to maintain this pretty easily. But if you have trouble light attack weaving, this isn't going to do you the best sets because this is a light attack weave focus set. In that case, I would just simply replace it with, you know, you can go with Hunting's Rage if you want something very simple to get, or Briarheart, Deadly Strikes. Any of those sets will work for you. That's just my thing. But I would definitely work on the light attack weaving because this is a really great set to do, but it is light attack focused. So if you have trouble with light attack weaving, you might want to replace this with Briarheart, Deadly Strikes, or Hunting's Rage if you just want to go simpler. Just me personally. So, and then we're running the Maelstrom Bow infused with a weapon damage enchant. This comes from normal Maelstrom Arena. It might take a few tries, but just get in there and farm it. It is very easy to do, very easy to get as soon as you hit 160 going in there and get it. And this increases the damage volley deals by 430 each tick. This bonus increases by 143 every time volley ticks up to a maximum of 8 times. So the only ability that this is going to affect is this ability, but that's okay because we really only use 3 abilities, or 4, so that's it. So, and Maelstrom Bow, really strong, it's really worth having. Just go with it. Farm it, get it. If you don't, then just farm it so you have a Kinra's Bow and put it on your back bar. Kinra's Bow will help reduce the risk of this dropping off, but Maelstrom Bow definitely outperforms it. So, now, monster sets, we're running a Slimecrawl medium helmet divines with max stamina, and 1 Grundlewolf medium divines with max stamina. Basically what this does is it's just giving us crit. That's it. That's the only reason why we have it here. It's the only reason why we're using it, is because without these two pieces, if we run something like Celine's or Domahas, our crit is going to drop to around 50%. And as you can see right now, we're sitting at 57.9. So it's better to have that extra crit than it is the proc from the set itself. That extra weapon damage from Domahas is nice, but I don't know. I just felt like this was just better. So, but Celine's, I've still rocked it with Celine's from time to time, and it still does pretty good. I haven't had any trouble clearing anything with this so far. So now also on your weapons, you know, the chance you can also run Crown Lethal Poisons if you want to. This will increase your DPS a little bit, but that's up to you. I mean, I have tons of these lying around, so you absolutely can use these with no problem. So for our second monster piece set, I believe it was made for a Templar. It just is. So this is Dagon's Dominia. Both these new sets come from the new dungeons, the Cauldron and Black Drake Villa. So dungeons are not as hard as you think to do on Vet, especially Black Drake Villa. It's really not that complicated at all to get this. And neither is the Cauldron. Cauldron's probably harder than Black Drake Villa, but we're going to keep Dagon static at all times. We're running it all in the body, all divines, all with max stamina. So this is a 7 medium setup. No 5-1-1, no 6-1, just 7 medium completely. This gives us weapon damage, max stam, weapon damage, and then it adds 475 weapon damage to your area of effect abilities. So that is increasing the damage of this, because it's an AoE. It's increasing that, it's an AoE, and it's increasing your jabs because your jabs is an AoE. So the 3 abilities that we use, plus our ultimate, Dawnbreaker, or Crescent Sweep, if you use it, is an AoE. So it is literally powering up every ability except for Barb Trap. That's it. So Dagon's Dominion set, it just feels like it was built for an AoE build. And seeing how all 3 of the abilities that we're using right now, it's AoE, so it just seems to make sense, and it's wonderful. So I've been having a lot of fun with this. I've cleared a lot of content. This skin you get for clearing that Cauldron. It was easy with this setup. I mean, I did it on normal a few times with other characters and things like that, and got my sets, and then I ran it out, tried it out throughout both of them, and didn't have any trouble getting through them. So there was some parts where it is difficult, but it wasn't mostly because of the setup or the ability itself. It was just, you know, effects. There's one where she drops lightning around her and stuff like that, and you can't really get close. As a stamina character, we kind of like to get close, so that kind of made things a little more difficult there because I wasn't a ranged DPS. But outside of that, you know, no mechanics that would stop me from getting close to the bosses. I didn't have any issues with them. The setup is amazing. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I hope y'all do too. So, but skills are very simple. We're using biting jabs. This is our main spammable. It's the main thing what we're using. We launch a relentless assault, striking enemies in front of you 4 times with your spear. The spear deals 4k physical damage to the closest enemy and 1.5k physical damage to all other enemies. Each strike reduces their movement speed. Activating this ability grants you major savagery, increasing your weapon critical rating by 2.6 for 8 seconds. That part doesn't really matter because we're already getting that from another ability on our bar. And then here, Circle of Protection. You know, I hardly ever even use this, but sometimes it is nice to have. Basically, you just throw it down. You and your allies in the air gain minor protection, minor endurance, reducing your damage taken by 5%, increasing your stamina recovery by 15%. So basically, that's kind of all it is. You just kind of throw it down. Doesn't really increase your stamina recovery because we're already getting that anyways from Repentance here being on our bar. So it's basically just there to give us minor protection. So that's it. Plus, so this ability, Bar Trap, of course we use it. When triggered, the trap deals 4.5k physical damage, an additional 18.1 physical damage over 18 seconds, and grants you minor force, increasing critical damage by 10% for the duration. So that's kind of, we're using this for minor force, but it's a really nice dot too. So just keep that in mind. Repentance, this is here, it's going to heal us, heals you and your allies for 3,000 health, and restores 3,000 stamina to you for each corpse nearby. While slotted, you gain minor fortitude, minor endurance, and minor intellect, increasing your health, stamina, and magic cover by 15%. So this right here is why this right here doesn't increase our stamina, if you're wondering about it when you go to use it. This ability, the reason why when we activate this we don't get major savagery is because of Camo Hunter. While active, we get major savagery, increasing your weapon critical rate by 2.6. You also gain minor berserk for 5 seconds after you deal critical damage from an enemy's flank. The thing is, now we have Kenra's Wrath. What this is going to give us is that this gives us major berserk. And while you have the aura going, your allies are going to gain minor berserk as well. So we're going to get minor berserk from this, and we're also going to get major berserk from Kenra's Wrath. So those two just kind of pair really well. And of course, we have it here for the Fire Skill passive just to give us extra weapon damage as well. But if you find out, if your healer is using Combat Prayer, so you really don't need this because you're getting minor berserk from Combat Prayer, you can drop this for something like Silver Leash. Let's just say your tank isn't running chains or something like that, and you just kind of want to pull in the adds to AoE them down. You can definitely run this. Also, something else I was trying out for fun, I would replace Circle of Protection with Razor Caltrops from time to time. This is just another nice big AoE ability. It also applies Major Breach to enemies. I've noticed if we're not running a tank or something like that, we're not getting Major Breach. There's nothing in our kit to give us Major Breach, though I would throw out Caltrops, and it works out pretty well. You definitely see a big, huge DPS increase from that not having that Major Breach. It's ridiculous how much of a difference that can make on a test or just in general. Then we're using Dawnbreaker. Arm yourself in Meridia's Sacred Sword and dispense a Retribution, dealing 13.5k physical damage to enemies in front of you, and additional 15.1k physical damage over 6 seconds. After activating, your weapon damage is increased by 300 for 20 seconds. This is an AoE ability, that's why we're using it. Now, we run it on both our front and back bar, but if you wanted to, you could put Empowering Sweep on your back bar. You can go with Ballista. Ballista still does 53k damage, just over 5 seconds. It still hits hard, but it's not getting a buff from Dagon. But Empowering Sweep is also pretty nice to use as well. So you can really go with either one. I just use Dawnbreaker for the Fire Skill passive. Plus, I prefer this over Sweep. That's just me personally. You can do whichever one you feel better with. Now, Endless Hell, launch a multitude of arrows into the sky to rain down, dealing 1.7k physical damage to enemies in the target area every 1 second for 12 seconds after a 2-second delay. This lasts for 14 seconds. This lasts for 12 seconds. So you can go with either one of these. You can go Endless Hell or you can go Arrow Barrage. All it's going to do is change how many times you can spam this and which one you're going to do first. Normally, after the first rotation, you're going to be doing Ritual Retribution, and it's going to allow you to do Endless Hell. You know, you're just going to cast them together. But you're going to do Ritual Retribution first, and then Endless Hell. So there's a 2-second in between each one. So Endless Hell, if you change this to Arrow Barrage, that only lasts for 10 seconds. So you would do Arrow Barrage, then Ritual Retribution, then bar swap back. So it just depends on which one you want to use. I like to get in another jab, as many jabs as I possibly can, so I use Endless Hell over Arrow Barrage. But you can do either one. It's just going to change up the rotation a little bit. Ritual Retribution exalts the Sacred Light of Idra, cleansing up 2 harmful effects from yourself, and immediately, while in the area, enemies take 3.4k magic damage every 2 seconds for 12 seconds, and increases by 5% per tick. Allies in the area can activate the Purifier Synergy, cleansing all harmful effects from the self and healing for 6.5k health. This ability scales with your highest offensive stat. So it's going to go off of our weapon damage more. And then, of course, we have Barb Trap on both bars. Fire Skill passive, just kind of have it there. Resolving Vigor, let loose a battle cry and stilling yourself with Resolve and healing for 17.2k health over 4 seconds. That's a huge heal. Absolutely amazing. See, if it was on your front bar, it'd be 19. So if you wanted to, you could definitely switch Repentance out with Vigor if you wanted to. It's up to you. And put Repentance on your back bar. I just kind of like having that extra recovery and stuff like that on my front bar. And go from there. Camo Hunter on both bars, again, just for the Fire Skill passive. Flawless Dawnbreaker on both bars, just for the Fire Skill passive. So, really, when it comes to using anything, you're just going to Endless Hell, Ritual Retribution, Barb Trap, and then you're just going to jab your way to victory. Light attacking in between each throw. That's it. Dawnbreaker, when you can, replace it over a jab. That's pretty much all there is to it. Now, DPS test-wise, I usually hit between 29 and 31. It just depends on lag. There's the last couple times I've tried a DPS test to do this video with. Around 30%, 24-30%, I tend to start lagging up pretty bad, and then I've been kicked a couple times due to spamming message rates. I don't know why. I think it's this house in general. I've been having a lot of problems in this house with lag, especially when it comes to testing, and also like with my gallery. If you go down here to my gallery and look at my bus, like there's no DLC bus. There's from the dungeons, but not the trials. So, like, I should have my furniture, yeah, like Argonian Behemoth, very top for completing Veteran Maelstrom, but yet if I go into my house here, it's not there. So I think maybe this house is just having issues with me and everything else, but I want to get this video out as soon as possible because I've been having trouble with the channel and stuff. It keeps getting locked up. I'm having some issues. I don't know why. But yeah, hopefully in upcoming days, the next few videos will be in a different place where I'm not having such issues within the house. I think that's just the problem. But normally DPS test wise it's 28 to 31k while I was standing here. Hopefully once I'm out of here, I'll try it out somewhere else, and we'll see how it goes then. But I like this setup. I've used it a ton. It is really fun. Like I said, if you're having trouble light attack, we replace Kenra's Wrath with Briarheart, Deadly Strikes. Would be the two sets I would go with. Hunting's Rage, if you just want something quick, because you can craft that. But this is a setup I've been using. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Let me know what y'all think, and just let me know if y'all been having fun with some of these sets. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe. Until always, have a good day.